Oh man, it's Killer7. It is time. It is time for Killer7. And this is, I have to say, Killer7 is one of my most favorite games of all time, but at the same time, one of the most difficult to explain why. So, what do you need to know about Killer7 before we start? Well, Killer7 was made by Grasshopper Manufacture. It was directed and written by Suda, along with Shinji Mikami. And this was the game that really put Suda on the map. Like, this was the reason that everyone knew his name. Like, when No More Heroes was coming out, people were excited because they knew about Killer7. And when people talk about wanting Suda to go back to his roots, this is generally what they're talking about. Killer7 is... It's hard, again, it's difficult to describe. It has all the things that Suda likes. It has assassins. He really likes those. It's very stylish. It's very cool. There's a lot of action and shooting. And all of it just is almost incoherent. Almost incoherent. I would describe Killer7. If you think about how a lot of video games try to be like action movies, Killer7 is like someone had a dream of an action movie and then it was made into a video game. Because Killer7 is kind of like playing a dream. It has a similar quality of how nothing quite makes sense. Everything is just a little bit incoherent. And it is wonderful at doing that. Like I said, it's one of my most favorite games, and even though there is a story to talk about, even though there is actually some kind of explanation for everything that happens in the game, we won't talk about that to begin with. We will eventually, but I think that the best way for someone to experience this game for the first time is to know absolutely nothing about it and just see what your brain comes up with. That's the way I like for people to play Killer7, and that's the way I played it when I first played it. When I first got this game, I remember the clerk at GameStop predicting that I would be bringing this game back within a few days because it was the worst game he had ever played. And when I first tried it, I didn't know what to make of it, but I kept trying, I kept sticking with it, and it ended up being one of my favorites, though granted it is not going to be a game that everyone is going to enjoy. But we're going to start this now, and you can just come to your own conclusions about what Killer7 is all about. One thing I should mention before we begin, though, is that this game came out on the GameCube and the PS2, but I am not actually playing this on either of those systems. Rather, I'm playing this on the GameCube emulator Dolphin. Usually I don't do that for LPs, but the reason I'm doing this now is because Killer7, with its cel-shaded graphics, looks fantastic at higher resolution. So we're going to be playing through this game at 4K because it looks amazing, so much better than it does when you actually play on the original hardware. So, with that out of the way, let's begin our assassin adventure of Killer7. 2 difficulties. We could go with normal. But, you know, I mean, we have to go with Deadly, I suppose. With Deadly, it's going to be harder. There's going to be less hints. But, I mean, I don't really need those myself since I've already played through the game a bunch of times. There's extreme combat, which basically means that the enemies will do more damage than they would have previously. So, this is what we're going to go with. Our first level, Target 00 Angel, takes place January 20th, 2010. This game came out in 2005, so this was the future at the time.
there yet?
You mean this shithole?
That's where they all hang out. Our information tells us that there's 14 of them.
And they're all for hunting.
Nah, keep one alive so we can ask where the boss is.
Anything else I should know?
Nah, not really. You'll know when you see them, they're, different.
Will do.
May the Lord smile.
And the devil have mercy.
We've been given our mission, but before we do that, we probably should take some time to learn what the controls are, because they are unusual in this game. One reason that people didn't know quite what to make of this game is because, even though it kind of looks like a third-person shooter, you don't control the game like a third-person game. Rather, you press a button to move forward on a predetermined track, like that. All I'm doing is pressing a button, and I can press another button to change directions and go the other way. We now have enemies. They're invisible, but I can press B to lock on. I can press L to scan. Now they're visible. I can use the control pad to switch between them. However, I can also have free movement as well. I can attack. I could shoot it, but what I actually want to do is use free aim to tag that gold target right there.
Son of a bitch.
Because if I do that, it crits and kills the enemy in one. I don't have to do that. I could just do this. But if you crit, you get blood. And you want blood! Anyway, that's it for the tutorial. There really is not much else to it. You press a button to run across a predetermined track, and you aim in first person, and you shoot. And now we're going to leave by choosing the entrance. I could choose the hallway to keep running in the hallway, but I don't want to. Anyway, you might notice there's a guy in a red gimp suit hanging from a bungee cord who's been telling us these things. We'll learn more about him. All right, we're at the entrance to the building. Let's take a look at our mission. We have a few things we could look at. Smiths, personalities. Only the one, Garcian. Nothing else there. Memos? Pigeon? Sure. The pigeon doesn't have anything to say to us right now. What about blood? Sure, everyone needs blood, but we don't have any. Items? Garcian's got a blue ring called the Vision Ring. Lets him see those invisible enemies. But something else we have is a photo that Mills gave us in that intro cutscene. It's our target. We're looking for this man in this green coat. The mission is to kill the Heaven Smiles and capture the chief alive. So that's what we're doing. Let's get to it.
You don't want to go any further. It's dangerous. My friends are all dead. They were all murdered by people that look like this. I have been chosen.
Oh, shit. There's more than 14. Those bastards are breeding.
Alright, we're Dan Smith now. Look, don't worry about it. Anyway, here's this man in the red. So this is our associate, Iwazaru, I guess is how I'm going to pronounce it, since I never hear his name actually said out loud in the game. He's a translucent man who is going to come down on his bungee cord and give us hints every so often. That's what he'll do. He said to the right is Master's room, so let's go in there. There's a maid. That's Samantha. She will save our game. Sometimes. Sometimes she won't feel like saving our game, and I can't help that. She's dressed as a maid right now, so she would save our game if we needed to do it, but I don't need to do that right now. What if we wanted to watch some TV? Ah, The Blood Room. That's my favorite show, but I don't have any blood. We gotta get some blood for The Blood Room.
Don't make me say it again. I'm a cleaner.
Well, there's Garcian. He's in the TV. I could select him, but I don't need to right now.
Wait here.
That's Dan. That's who we have right now.
I've changed my makeup. Did you notice? Men. They never notice these kinds of things.
I mean, to be fair, it's kind of hard to notice the makeup when she's in the TV. That's Kevin. He's asleep right now. We need to kill some enemies before I can wake him up. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Might as well just take a look back at that, see what are on the other channels. What's on the air right now?
What did you say?
Well, I said we were going to see what's on the other channels right now. It's Coyote. He seems kind of mad.
Later.
Pete.
There's Khan. There's Mask the Smith. But we need to defeat more enemies to wake him up. Anyway, this is the TV. We'll be seeing it quite often. As well as this room. We'll also be seeing the room quite often because it moves. Moves around. Here's Iwazaru in the back. He has things he can tell us. He has a few things, and actually it would take a while to actually go through all this. I think I'll probably save this for the end of this video, instead of just doing it all right here. So we'll come back to this. I mean, you have a lot of valuable advice, Iwazaru. We don't want to ignore it. It's just that right now, maybe we should get down to the shooting. Get down to the action. We saw that Heaven Smile. That's the kind of thing we're going to be shooting. Alright, I heard a laugh. Iwazaru's here, but before we talk to him, let's shoot this guy.
This is too easy.
Dan, very impressed by his crit. Is Iwazaru impressed? Are you impressed? Iwazaru wants us to turn back, but we can't. We have a job to do. We're an assassin, and we have to assassinate things. He did tell us that the Heaven Smiles are lined with bombs, though, which is why they're walking towards us.
This is too easy.
If they did reach us, they would explode. Here's Travis. Travis is another translucent man who is going to give us advice. He doesn't work for us like HAhAhaHAHAAHA does, but he's more like kind of a friend. Here's HAhAhaHAHAAHA again. He talks to us kind of a lot. There's also a man hanging from the ceiling by that door. Maybe that's who he'll talk to us about. Okay, so the soul shells were left behind by Master, and Kankazuru there is searching for them all the time. He's hanging over that door, which means there's going to be one in the parking lot. Like I said, we've got a lot of translucent friends. This fellow is kind of a friend. It's not really out of control yet, HAhAhaHAHAAHA. It's not out of control because you keep interrupting us. If you weren't, then the mayhem could get out of control. But he's telling us we have to use the Hellion with the R button and Y button 3 times with blood, and fire a deadly shot. With the test tube, you know, devil's bullets. You understand. With enough blood. Alright, let's look at our blood. Alright, if I look at blood, I have a test tube. It only has 1. Test tube times 1. I need 3 to fire the devil's bullets. He mentioned the Hellion. He has nicknames for all of the Killer7, and the Hellion is his nickname for Dan. Though you don't know that at first. You just kind of have to guess. Hold on. Oh no, I blew off his weak point. You can do that. Unfortunately, it's not a good thing, because then you can't crit him. Now, I killed that Camellia Smile, and now my test tube is times 10. He filled me up with thin blood, filling up my test tube, and that means that I can use my special attack. What happens if I go 1, 2, 3?
Collateral shot.
Right, so I loaded up my gun with 3 vials of thin blood, and it let me shoot a fireball, energy ball, at the weak point of the big monster. We're an assassin. Well, Dan did think that they were breeding, and he was right. There was this duplicator. Travis giving us a little bit of backstory, saying that the duplicator has been creating Heaven Smiles, and they took this country down. We'll find out a little bit more about that. But for right now, he popped the trunk, and we got Soul Shell. HAhAhaHAHAAHA did say we need to find these. So if we look at our items, we can't select it, but there is 1 soul shell there now. We don't know why we need them, but we're told to find them. Something else that's different, though, is up here in the Smith section. There are other names here now. It's the names that we saw in the TV. Garcian didn't have any other names, but now there are. So what happens if we select one? There you go. Now let's move on. You might notice Coyote's gun. It's got a scope on it. So her gun can do some different things. She cannot fire a collateral shot like Dan, but her gun can do something else. You can use the scope to zoom in, like this.
Hurts, doesn't it?
Sometimes I feel like I'm more accurate when I don't use it, though, which is weird. But she does have that scope if we need to zoom in to make faraway shots. And Wazaru just keeps giving us more very valuable advice. I mean, we need business too. We mean business. We killed that duplicator. Wazaru is very cautious. He wants us to be very careful, but I think we can handle it. We're doing okay so far. And by the way, yes, you can actually just run by him instead of talking to him, if you so felt like it.
Help me!
Right. So that's what happens when Heaven Smiles interact with normal people. It doesn't turn out so well for them. Of course, we're the Killer7. We're a bit more capable.
Hurts, doesn't it?
Oh, blew his arm off. Can also blow other body parts off. Like his head? What about his legs? Let's get his legs. Tasty, tasty blood! That's right. We love the taste of it. There we go. Oh, special smile right there. Yellow smile. He turns into corn pops if I can shoot him. If I can get him before he explodes. Oh, no, I didn't. See, that particular one, you don't kill him in enough time, he just automatically explodes. But if you get him, he does turn into tasty, tasty corn pops. Hopefully we can do that later. Here's Harmons Room. It's the same room that we were in before. It's just in a different place now. Samantha, however, is not in her maid costume. So she will not save the game for us right now. She's not on duty, is the thing. Sometimes she just won't save the game. We can take a look at the TV, though, because we have gotten some blood. So now let's hook up our AV cables to the TV and transfer our blood to the blood room. As you do. Not all that much blood, but we turn some blood into serum.
Don't make me say it.
Wait here.
And what we can do with that is we can upgrade characters' skills. So he's at level 0 right now for all his skills. He only needs 1 vial of blood to upgrade. So now he's at level 1 with power. And now he's learned down attack because I upgraded power and speed. So you don't just upgrade these characteristics, but you also gain special abilities by doing this.
Did you notice? Men.
And that's going to be very important.
Hurts, doesn't it?
New enemy. There are different kinds of heaven smiles. So this time we've encountered the micro smile, which is actually not really dangerous at all. This could be a problem, though. Yep, he got to me. Fortunately, though, that was not enough to kill me in one hit. I can use my thin blood to recover some health. So, you don't want to get hurt too much, because, of course, if you do, you have to use up all your thin blood, and then you won't have enough thin blood to use for special abilities. Anyway, let's take a look at that micro smile. He's very small. If we get his attention, he'll fly at us, but if he does, he won't actually hurt us. He'll just explode in a flash of white light and blind us. Not really dangerous. What's up, Trav? What you got to say? Travis seems kind of like he admires the heaven smiles. He also seems to think that maybe as being hired killers, that maybe Killer7, maybe they can't really understand the meaning of the heaven smiles. How could a paid killer understand someone who fights for such a goal, such a cause? But of course, Travis himself was a hired killer. He seems to have turned things around in terms of what he believes, though.
Come on. You gotta help me.
Still, all the heaven smiles seem to do is just grab people and explode. It doesn't seem like there's much of a noble purpose there. Anyway, this guy's jogging.
Hurts, doesn't it?
Here's another translucent friend, Hyun. Let's talk to him. Alright, so Yoon here will give us hints as to how to solve certain puzzles. Honestly, though, the puzzles in Killer7 are very easy, and I don't know why hints would be needed. But we can get hints. He did say, though, that if we want to get hints, we're going to have to give up some thick blood, which is what's on the left, the 188. That's thick blood. We don't have to give up too much of it, but we do have to give a little bit to the true mask over here to get hints, so I guess we might as well do it. The true mask has a little bit of an attitude to him. All right, candles and the Ring of Fire. 1 through 5, he says. Well, here's some candles. Oh no! Our flame is insufficient! We don't have enough of it! I guess I can't do that. Not with my flame the way it is. But we could try to see what the air conditioner can do for us. Let's turn it on, sure. It's a muggy night, I assume. Ah, that feels good. Just like standing right in front of the air conditioner on a hot night. Feels so good. But we can't spend all night standing in front of this air conditioner. Let's try changing to another character. Let's see what else we have. Oh, the personas that were locked, they're now unlocked. Kevin and Mask. Let's switch to Kevin. So something about Kevin is that he has the best turnaround animation of the Killer7. It's like, doesn't get better than that. He's also energy conscious, so let's turn off the air conditioner for right now. And backflip, and away we go. So, difference about Kevin in the way he does things, the way he fights, is that he doesn't use guns. He uses knives, throwing knives. There we go. And you wouldn't think knives would be as good as guns, but the thing about the knives is that he never has to reload. You saw how when Kaede reloaded before, that allowed the Heaven Smiles to get her. But Kevin doesn't have to worry about that. He has unlimited knives. Oh, I should mention that everyone has unlimited ammo as well. Alright, so there was a very nice translucent boy who, it seems like he has problems. We'll see him again. Alright, we're continuing to make our way up this building from the 3rd floor to the 4th. Oh! Awazaru has something he needs to tell us. Well, Awazaru found out something about someone who's in this building and is very distraught that we're going after him. He said Mills fooled us. Of course, Mills gave us this photo, so perhaps the man in the green coat is who he's talking about. But of course, we can't worry about that. We're assassins. We have to finish the job. Carrier pigeon? Sure. Why not? So this carrier pigeon named Bianca has brought us a message, though it's not for us, it's for someone named Amir, and it's from someone named Johnny Gagnon, also known as Speedster. This is how Johnny introduces himself to people, I guess. He probably doesn't have many friends. He's talking about the Smith Syndicate, and, you know, our characters, they all have the last name Smith. Yep, this is who we're playing. Apparently someone is watching us. He mentions Dan Smith uses a large caliber revolver, which we've seen. Kaede Smith, however, he is wrong about. Kaede does not use a large automatic rifle. She uses a gun with a scope on it. It's not a rifle. Con Smith we have not seen yet. He uses 2 full auto pistols. Masked Smith, grenades, but we have not seen him yet either. Kevin Smith we're using right now uses knives. He's right about that anyway. Coyote Smith uses a modified gun. We have not seen him yet. Garcian we saw right at the beginning using a small pistol. So we obtained this memo. For what reason, who can say? Backflip! Harmons Room is moved here now. Samantha would still not feel like saving our game, so let's just use the blood room. Drop off the blood that we have now. Oh, not that much, actually. You can hold up to 999 all at once.
I've changed my makeup. Did you notice?
Alright, now Kaede has a down attack.
They never notice.
And a counterattack.
Kinds of things.
So a down attack, what that is if a Heaven Smile is on the floor crawling towards the person, then you can use a one-hit kill on the Heaven Smile when they're within range. The counterattack is kind of harder to do. When if the Heaven Smile is standing up and he's right about to grab you, you can press attack and you will do a one-hit kill counterattack on the Heaven Smile. But the timing on that is very tight. Maybe we'll be able to see it. The aiming in Killer7 is very sensitive. There's no way to turn down the sensitivity, unfortunately. But you still can get those crits. I think maybe the lack of being able to change the sensitivity was the main problem people had with the gameplay of Killer7. Because it really is very sensitive. It's actually too sensitive, but I guess that's where the challenge of the game comes from. Here's Yoon. What does he have to say? Toilets do that, don't they? Toilets and sprinklers, of course. How do I make it spray? I'm hoping he's talking about the sprinkler, not the toilet. Alright, I want to hear what the true mask has to say about sprinklers and toilets. Well, the Ring of Fire has been mentioned before, related to those candles that we saw before. Tomorrow, I could be washed away by toilet water. I never thought about it that way. Alright, I was hoping I would be able to do that. That's his down attack. So, since that guy was down on the floor and in close enough range, I was able to do the one-hit kill on him. I don't get blood from doing that, unfortunately, but just wanted to show that. And everyone has their own different down attack. Anyway, here's a sprinkler. Here's a toilet. Should we flush it? Why not? Yes. Okay. Can you think of anything quite as sad as a toilet which does not have any water? I cannot. So I guess there's nothing we can do here yet. The Ring of Fire was mentioned, so perhaps we should keep our eyes out for that. Sure. So what that sound means is that you're interacting with something that you can't do anything with right now, but you would if you had the right item, which we don't right now. So we'll just remember about those things and come back later. How much blood do I have? A little bit. We don't need to go into that room just yet, I think, though. There's an object. Alright. There's also a dryer. It's on right now. Maybe we should turn it off. All right. The talking head in the dryer has given us back the fire ring. Well, we appreciate the head in the dryer for giving us our ring back. By the way, if you're wondering, why does everyone talk in those distorted voices? It's because in the Japanese release of Killer7, those voices were not distorted, and they were speaking in the most magnificent, broken English you have ever heard. So for the American release, they distorted those voices so you couldn't hear what they were actually saying, but if you pay enough attention, you can make out some words. Anyway, let's continue on. Oh, micro smile. Well, that's what happens when one of those hits you. Like I said, it doesn't actually hurt, but if there were other heaven smiles around, it would be a problem that we couldn't see anything. What does Wazuru have to say with us? Everything is always very dangerous with him. So he's saying that one of the members of the Killer7 can pick any lock, referring to him as the thief. You don't know which one he's talking about, but it's actually Coyote Smith. And it's a good thing he mentioned that, because there's a locked door right here. He loves padlocks, right? So why don't we get out Coyote and see what he can do with a padlock? We're back in a hallway that we've been in already. Yeah, there's Yoon. So we're by a room that we actually want to be by right now. It's the room with the candles. Yoon did say, rather the True Mask said, that maybe we might want to get that fire ring. Well, we have it now. We can equip it. Let's see what happens. The fire ring howls, because now we have sufficient flame. So what order do we light the candles in? It's not... You can look at the candle holders. It's not that much of a puzzle. It's actually less of a puzzle on normal difficulty, because on that, they just put the numbers on the candlesticks. We did it. And someone put away their odd engraving here. Well, we have it now. You can see it on the bottom of the screen. There's an odd engraving. We can't select it, but we have it for some reason. Maybe Coyote feels like putting the air conditioning on. Maybe he's a bit too warm right now. So that's what that does. If you happen to mess up the candle puzzle, somehow you can reset it by using the air conditioning. That's what you do with that. Now let's see, there was one other thing that we were told to use the fire ring with. Something about sprinklers and toilets. By the way, most of this is linear, but if you lose your way, there is a map system. We don't really need to use it for this level, but there is a map if you're trying to find your way around this building. Most of this have been linear paths so far, though, as I'm sure you've noticed. So Coyote, as you might notice, reloads very fast, and his speed with his gun is just fast in general. Oh, I was hoping for a down attack. Did not happen. Coyote also has some different abilities that I'm sure we'll see later on. No, still no down attack. Alright, let's head back into this bathroom. All right, what can we do here with our fire ring? Well, we can hold it up to the sprinkler and cause it to activate because it thinks it's a fire. What about the toilet? We did it. Mission accomplished. The toilet has been flushed. We activated the sprinklers, which caused the toilet to fill up with water, which let us flush it, is the progression of how that went. And it caused that thing to fall out of the pipes, just like the True Mask said it would. And you know, I think with that victory under our belts of flushing the toilet, it's pretty momentous, so I think that is a pretty good place to end the first part of Let's Play Killer 7. I hope that you've liked what you see so far, and I hope that you come back for more as we continue on going through this building, climbing the floors, getting higher until we're at the top, and we get to whoever our target is. I'll see you next time.
I should start by saying that envelope and cassette tape are just words I use. That is to say, when I say envelope, I'm not talking about an envelope made out of paper with the flap at the top. I mean something else, and you should know what that is. We often use this method of communicating in my business. With that out of the way, where should I start? Heaven smiles. Everyone knows that only Killer7 can exterminate the Heaven Smiles. Miss Jacob concludes so, and it's no mere urban legend. I don't know how the information on this leaked, but now the whole damn world knows about it. My specialty. I make preparations and take measures against terrorism. Heaven Smiles are my mortal enemies. They've become such pests. The FBI and the police have even started hiring local kids who hang out in odd places. I'm an agent with the FBI. Yeah, I'm an old man, all right. You won't get my name, but if you need to call me something, use the name Jacob Checkbox.